Sandown race 1, it's a 3-year-old maiden over 1,300 metres. My numbers are 11, 4, 1 and 6. I'm going with number 11, To the Barricades. It was a pretty good run on debut. Chased hard, that was at Cranbourne, and it was behind a promising horse in Grand Scholar, who then went to Moonee Valley and won last Friday. I think it's the right form line. It looks a messy speed map, so it'll need a good ride from Ethan Brown. But I'm going with 11 to beat 4-Star Sonic. It's had a little freshen up, made good progression in that preparation before the break. Can run well here. 1 Against Time was very strong in a recent trial at Cranbourne. Came from back in the field, ran on well. Ben Mellum rides a plus. And 6 Bottom Deck. This is going to be one of the roughies in the field, but recorded the best late sectionals of the day at Kyneton. Very green, but ran on well. Gets Dwayne Dunn in an inside draw. Could be one of the odds to consider, but I'm with To the Barricades. 11, 4, 1 and 6. Sandown race 2, it's a maiden over 1,400 metres. My numbers are 8, 9, 4 and 1. I'm going to go with number 8, Parlay Princess. This is a mare I've always had a little bit of time for. She might be better over touch further, but I think she could sprint well fresh in this grade and run well. 9 Regal Riffles, The Danger. It was a good trial recently at Cranbourne. Runner-up on both occasions last preparation and drawn for a beautiful run with Ben Mellum in the saddle. Number 4, Blue Ocean, is a former New Zealand galloper. First start for Philip Stokes. Made nice ground in a recent trial at Cranbourne. Looks to have ability. And 1 Grand Promenade, I'm sure this is a promising stayer in the making. Whether he needs further than 1,400, but he'll be hitting the line hard late. Very even sort of maiden. My numbers 8, 9, 4 and 1. Sandown race 3, it's a 3-year-old benchmark 64 over 1,000 metres. My numbers are 1, 3, 7 and 5. I'm going with number 1, Hard Press. Resumes from a spell show, promised last time in, and I just think the way the speed map sets up here, just might have the drop on them. Tipping a good start to the day for Ben Mellum, and I think this horse will be hard to beat. From 3, Pouting Lips. Resumes from a spell, comes off a good trial at Cranbourne recently, can run well. 7, Salome is having a good preparation. Both runs this time in have been encouraging and looks well weighted with the claim for Michael Poy. And number 5, Sukoshi. Resumes, showed really good ability in its first up win, and then its form gradually tapered off last campaign. I think it could run a race here fresh, but Hard Press looks really well placed to return as a winner. 1, 3, 7 and 5. Sandown race 4, it's a benchmark 64 over 1,000 metres. My numbers are 11, 7, 8 and 5. I think number 11, Kutara, will run well here. It's trialled up very strongly in preparation for this race. It's 1, 2 of 7. It's got nice promise, and with the claim for Fred Kersley, can run well. To beat number 7, Hums. This horse is having a terrific preparation. Gee, he ran on well last start. He should have won there. Drawn a good gate. He can race a lot closer to the speed. 8, Pinion. My little concern with Pinion is she'll be giving away a big start, but she'll be strong late, and she's very consistent. And number 5, RDO, he was disappointing last start. It was a much stronger race at Flemington. He's down in grade here, and with the claim can run well. But in an even race, I thought Kutara could run well fresh. 11, 7, 8 and 5. Sandown race 5, it's a benchmark 70 over 1,800 metres. My numbers are 7, 8, 11 and 3. I found this the toughest race of the day. I'm going to go with number 7, Aussie Nugget. I think he's a really good talent. He's got a terrible habit of missing the start 2 and 3 lengths, and then has to make up his ground. Now from barrier 1, he's going to need a really smart ride from Jai McNeil. I think he's the best talent in the race, so I'm going to go with him to beat number 8, Lord of Darkness. This horse is putting it together this campaign. He's lightly raced and improving. It was a good win last start. He's going to get a great run from the draw. Number 11, Green Ivy, another one that's putting it together this campaign. He had a lot of good runs on his CV without winning. This time in, good first up run, a win second up. He'll be competitive. And number 3, Zooey's Comet. I was conceding this horse a chance in the Eclipse Stakes last start at Group 3 level. He just had to chase from a long way out, and he ultimately just compounded. But this is a much weaker race. He'll get a cheaper run, and his previous form was very good. But a really tough race. My numbers 7, 8, 11 and 3. And now for the Sandown Quaddie. In the first leg, I'm going with numbers 7, Aussie Nugget, 8, Lord of Darkness, 11, Green Ivy, 3, Zooey's Comet, but conceding chances to 2, Midas Prince, and 12, Shandy. In the second leg, 7, Leanne, 8, Touch of Mink, and 3, In Heart's Wake. In the third leg, just numbers 4, Irish Butterfly, and 5, Camion. And in the last leg, just numbers 3, Wham, and 5, Duke of Magnus. Sandown race 6 is the fillies and mares benchmark 70 over 1400 metres. My numbers are 7, 8, 3 and 11. Gee, I like the way number 7 Leanne's going this campaign. Her first up win was terrific. Her last start effort at Bendigo was just absolutely outstanding. And barrier 1, with how she's raced this time in, might be a little bit of a concern, but I'm just suspecting that they could ride her a bit closer. And if they do, I think she'll be hard to beat. I'm with her to beat number 8, Touch of Mink, down from Sydney for Matthew Smith. He travels his horses at the right time and brings them to Melbourne, and they run well. I think this one will run well again. 3 In Heart's Wake gets back onto drier ground as opposed to last start at Cranbourne on the wet ground, will improve sharply. And I've put in number 11,000 Wishes next best. She's been ultimately probably a disappointing mare. She did run 4th in a Edward Manifold Stakes last year, but her first up run was fair. She'll be fitter for that run, and she's next best. But quite keen on Leanne here. 7, 8, 3 and 11. Sandown race 7's a benchmark 64 over 1,500 metres. My numbers are 4, 5, 13 and 11. I really think there's 2 winning chances, and they are 4 Irish Butterfly, who I thought needed the run at Bendigo, looked the likely winner at the 200, peaked on his run, he'll be fitter, and 5 Camion, who comes through the same form. He's racing very well. He was hitting the line hard again last start, and he gets a claim here for Liam Reardon. Not a lot between them. I'm going 4 from 5. Little chances to 13 to Little Sister. She missed the start last start, so she had to go back to the trials, went to Balnarring, flew the gates, won the trial by a long way. Little query at 1,500, but I think she'll give a good sight for a long way. And 11 Imperial Dawn with Craig Williams on has got some hope of getting into the money. But really think it's a trim-up league for your quaddie. My numbers 4, 5, 13 and 11. Sandown race 8, it's a benchmark 64 over 1,300 metres. My numbers are 3, 5, 16 and 11. I think number 3, Wham, represents the best bet of the day. He resumes from a spell. He's run in some pretty handy races as a 3-year-old. He's had 2 recent jump outs. He looks to be going well. And with a claim for Fred Kersley, he gets in well at the weights and he's drawn for a lovely run. I think he'll be too classy for this field. The sharp improver in this field will be number 5, Duke of Magnus. I don't think the wet track suited first up. He's got form similar to Wham last preparation and he'll roll forward. He looks the main danger if there is one. Conceding place chances to 16 Ultra Smart, who's running into form with 2 runs back from a spell, and 11 DeRosa, who didn't win last preparation but was at least competitive and could sprint well fresh. But Wham should be too good for this field. 3 from 5, 16 and 11.